Hi everyone, it's Cameron back with a sales update video for the month of December. It's been a while, we're already January 19th and I am this far behind. So I do apologize. Just life always seems to keep you busy. So in a lot of good ways for me and my family, but unfortunately it's left a little bit less time to do the video for the sales update. They do take a little bit longer. I was contemplating doing them on a weekly basis. They would be a little bit quicker. So if anyone would prefer them weekly, let me know. I kind of like the monthly one just because you can see it all at once and don't have to watch 4 videos to find out what I sold. But we'll jump right in. Starting off, the sales for December were probably the best this year. 2780 was the total sales. Don't think I had really too many returns, if any, during that month, and did pretty good, especially since the last week of December usually ends up being pretty slow because Christmas has already passed. So aside from that, though, we did pretty well. We'll jump right in and see what sold. Oh, before we do though, January, if you guys are selling, it's slow for a lot of people out there, so don't get discouraged. I've had a very slow month. I'm like, I don't know, the past 30 days I'm like 2,000 something in sales, which is not that great for me. I'd like to be a little bit higher than that. And a lot of that's from the December month still carrying over into this. So I had a pretty good day today, sold 6 things. Hopefully we'll see more of that in the coming days. A lot of people just spent a lot probably for Christmas, don't have as much to spend right now. But with tax season coming and stuff like that, people should have some more disposable income to use on eBay. So hopefully it'll boost for everybody. But jumping right in, starting off the month was awesome. Sold Legend of Zelda, GameCube game. I hear some people out there telling people video games are saturated, it's not worth your time. I don't know why anyone would ever say that. Video games are definitely worth your time. I'm going to make a video on the 5 best things I think to start off selling. Video games will be one category I recommend. There's a lot of different video games out there. Not all of them are worth something. It can take a little bit of time to learn them, but you should do it because it can be worth it. I paid $5, I think, for this game, or maybe 4, and it sold for $35 within a week, so that's pretty good. These were some golf balls right here. They were all in the box. They were unused. The box was opened. I had paid $5 or $4.50 for this. It was on sale. Sold it for $25 and it shipped in a priority padded flat rate. I don't do a lot of sales of golf balls. It just happened to be a John Daly one. I think he had a 30 for 30 come out about him through ESPN, so I know his name was kind of in the news, and I figured it might sell, so that worked out. Here's a little Sonic Tiger Electronic keychain handheld game. I had bought this a long time ago and a lot of video game stuff. Finally got around to buying a battery for it, which was like 50 cents, and listed it. Sold for 14 bucks, so pretty cool. Platinum Fubu, don't mind the picture. One of my goals for this first quarter of the year is to redo my photo setup. I know mine are not that great. It's more just out of quickness for me to get it done in the space I have, but I'm planning to revamp it all and get new lighting and a backdrop and everything, so it should be pretty nice. So hopefully we'll get that done. But this I paid $2 for. It's a Fat Albert Platinum Fubu 2XL shirt. It actually had a couple of stains on it. I marked those in the thing, but it sold for 30 bucks, so that was awesome. These were 3 cords. They're broadband HDMI cables. They were free. My wife had got them at her job. They were going to throw them away. I only got $9 for them, so didn't make a ton on them, but made a few dollars, so that was cool. A Nike Dry Fit, paid $5 for this. Ended up taking a best offer of 27, I believe. It was a pretty good shirt, but it had a flaw down here. It looked like it was in the manufactured that way. There was like some lines that wouldn't come out. It had the tag, but I tried to dry it to see if I could. I wet it and then dry it a little bit to see if it would get the wrinkle lines out, but it didn't. So for 27 bucks, that was pretty good. It was an NFL Network one, so I think it made it a little bit better. Pokemon Gold, switched the battery out on this thing, which was like $2 or something, $1 maybe, and sold that for 25. So that was pretty good. Donkey Kong King of Swing, sold that for $9. This is a Polar Care knee, cool therapy kit. You put ice in there with some cold water, and it pumps it around your knee, I guess, and kind of heals it or helps cool it down after surgery. I had paid $7 for this, and the estate sale was half off. Um, and it ended up selling for $68 to someone who had borrowed it from a friend, and she told me she accidentally broke it and she wanted to get mine. So I was a little worried, like maybe she might try to switch it out or something, but nope, she bought it, got it, loved it. Ended up shipping that, I want to say FedEx Smart Post, I'm not sure, but it only shipped for like $15 or something. It was pretty light altogether. So look out for these Bragg polar cares. They have a couple different models. They always sell really well if they work, and if not, you can still part. I think the power cord alone goes for like 25 bucks on these, so pretty good. Paid $1.99 for this Mundi faux crocodile double zip agenda. It was actually from a couple years ago, but it was still new. It just had one little page that someone had wrote their name on. I sold it for 20 bucks. That sold within like a day, and the person gave me good feedback, so that was awesome. Remember that name, Mundi. Some of their the crocodile stuff seems to be the best. Monopoly, I bought a Lord of the Rings Monopoly, which sells okay if it's complete. I paid $1. It wasn't complete. I've been selling some of the pieces. These ones sold for $4.49. It cost $2.60 to ship them. So am I really making a lot of money? Not really, but I've definitely made a little bit, and I've sold a couple more parts since this one. So a Gigapets, not a great picture, but I had this. I bought a lot of keychains for $2, and this was on there, and I sold it for $11.99. It needed a new battery, which was the same one that Tiger Electronics one used, I think. So that one worked out well. Ed Hardy Tiger pants, excuse me. They are ugly, but I knew someone would buy them. I paid $2. They're jean shorts, size 38. I had looked them up while I was at the sale because I was talking about some other stuff, and they just look like something that someone would buy in for $2. Bought them. They did sell for 18 bucks. Took a while. Probably took 5 months, maybe 6 months for them to sell. Something like that. Quite a while, but I'll take the money. I don't mind sitting on $2 to make that. This is a book I got for 25 cents at a huge book sale. It was, every book was 25 cents, and then they kind of gave you a deal if you bought so many. This was one I picked out of there. It's one of the Franklin Library ones. These leather-bound ones sell really well for me. I actually just sold another one today for 16 bucks, but this was 25 cents and sold for 26. I think it sold within a couple of weeks, so pretty good. Here's an Allen Iverson, Philadelphia Sixers champion jersey. Pretty good name, Allen Iverson. He's a pretty influential player, excuse me, for one, but his jerseys, if they're the champion ones, do sell really well. This one was really beat up. It had stains. It had a hole in it. I ended up selling this thing for 25 bucks, best offer, which was fine because I had paid like 5, and with all the damage it had, I thought I might get some of the stains out, but I couldn't. So I was more than happy with that. But remember, Allen Iverson, champion in general. Old basketball jerseys do a little bit better than the new ones because usually they're a bit older, from the 90s, and you got some better players then that are more sought after. This is a real estate calculator. I had bought 3 calculators for 10 bucks. This one sold for 20. Pretty quick. This was a Snow White Disney wind chimes. It was new in the box. Paid $2. It sold for 18. I had that for I think a year. I had like $29.99 and $24.99 for a while. It just wouldn't sell. But I couldn't get rid of it because it was a Disney thing. So I figured eventually it would sell, and it finally did. This was awesome. It was in one of my haul videos not recently, but in the month of December. I think I paid $7.50 for this. Department 56. Looks like the row team basically. Box is damaged, as you can see. This is from their Seasons Bay set, but it's all for $49.99, and I want to say in like 3 days. So that was awesome. Very great buy there. This was the smallest of all the sets they had there. They had marked it really low, and the big ones were way too overpriced, but it's funny that this one was actually worth more than most of the ones that were there, because it was just a little bit more sought after. Probably not many people have it. So 1256 stuff can be pretty good, but you really want to look it up, and a lot of times people know they have that and they try to charge a pretty high price. So you can always also find the, usually have a model number there you can look up, and that really helps. Now, this is a sewing machine. I paid $10 for this. It was in the box. It was turned on and used maybe a little bit, but it was in really great shape. Lady said, excuse me, she never actually sewed it. sewed with it. So with it, whatever. She never actually really got to use it. Just had turned it on to make sure it worked and get an idea of how it worked. But her daughter, it was supposed to be for her daughter, but her daughter didn't ever get into sewing. I paid 10. Finally sold it for $100 to Minnesota. Shipped it FedEx ground, I think, and it costs like $25 or something to ship it. So 10 into 75 after you subtract the shipping out. So still pretty good. I have been using FedEx with respect to ground or home delivery and Smart Post. It's really saved me money the month of December. I hadn't used it before. I don't know if it was just nerves or what, but I started getting some quotes, and my wife's been dropping off the packages at FedEx, and it's been working well. Another Polaroid sold. I had paid $4 for this one. It had a broken strap, so that's obviously not a deterrent because it's still sold for $22. Love Polaroids. This will also be one of the ones in my video, along with book lots because they've still been selling. If anybody's watched my videos for a while now, you probably saw a haul where I had a bunch of books. These were a bunch of Christian ones I bought from a library that was closing. Sold this set of 10 for $18. Ships media mail. This is a Wilton cake carrying case. I had paid $10 for 2 of these. They were basically unused. Sold that one for $25. It ended up shipping for like 8. So you end up making like 5 into 17. Not a whole lot. I thought they'd go more for 30, but they weren't selling at that price, so I lowered them a little bit. Radio Shack Pro Analog 64 scanner. Paid excuse me, $5 for this one. Sorry, I have a bit of a cough. Paid $5. Tested it with some batteries. It worked, and sold it for $54.99. So that was awesome. And then we have this one right here, which is, oh, this wasn't awesome. This was the one return I got this month. Guy sent it back and said it works for like 15 minutes and then it turns off. I had never tested it longer than about 15 minutes. It still works for me now. I'm not sure what he did. It looks like he sent me the same one. Serial number is the same. You know, it had a couple of marks on it that look about the same. So I'm not sure what the deal was, but I have to relist it now. I'll list it with some kind of a flaw and try to get $30 for it. I just haven't relisted it. That reminds me I need to do that. Sorry about that. Still, it would have been a good sale. And I still should get my money back with the $30 one. So this is a Game Boy Advance. Didn't even have the battery cover. It did work though. Sold that for 20. So if you see one of these without the battery cover, it can still sell. And if it's broken without the battery cover, you can still probably get $12 for it. So sometimes you see these without battery covers and people think, oh, it's not worth it. It still might be if it works. And even if it's broken, if you can get it cheap enough, you can do well. Legend of Zelda for the Nintendo sold for 15. You can see it had some wear on the label here. It was starting to fade. Still got $15 for it. This is actually a pretty rare game. It sells for like $60, maybe 70, but the disc had a crack in it. I had picked this up in a lot of games from another, I don't know if they were a reseller or not. They had a bunch of video game stuff, but it was all heavily damaged stuff. So I paid like $2 for everything, and this has a crack like right here. So I just sold it for $10 damaged. And the person was happy with it. So I don't know if he could fix it or what, but remember that name. It's a pretty good name to have for the PlayStation. And it had writing on it, which kind of stunk. But either way, here's a Nintendo Game Boy Pocket. It's a clear one. This one did have the battery cover. It worked. It was a bit scuffed up and stuff, but it's all for 20. Red Octane PS2 Guitar Hero receiver. Dongle, whatever you want to call it. If you're not looking for these at garage sales, you want to find Rock Band ones, you want to find Guitar Hero, this is the piece that plugs into the system so you can connect wirelessly to the guitar and stuff. These things sell. There's some individual ones that go for like 27, $30. Even the small ones go for 10, and every one I've had has sold within a week. I think I've sold probably 10 so far this year, and they sell quick. Another ink here, I think I paid $3 for that, sold it for 23. Little Pokemon card book, I paid $1/4 for this, I think, in a lot. It sold for $6 and it shipped first class, so that was cool. Someone had bought it, I think, for their kid. They had asked that if it was good for a kid who wanted to play the card game, so hopefully he enjoyed that. Here is a Notre Dame crew neck. This person bought this for their father who had it and lost it I guess at some point. This exact one, she hasn't seen it. She's been looking for it for, I guess, years. I finally listed mine. I've had this for a while. It sold for 22 bucks, so pretty good. I had sold this once for $90. It got returned. The guy said it was missing one little bolt in the back that you could see the back, but because I didn't list that in the description because I had no clue it was supposed to be there, he wanted to return it. It appeared he didn't do anything else, just sent it back for that reason. I ended up taking a best offer of 75 on it this time, shipped it for about 17. So I still made my money back on the original, what I lost from the first listing. I don't think I made anything more than that, but you can remember these Westinghouse fans, they do pretty well if you have the older ones. They're just pretty heavy and bulky, so that was part of the problem. These were the last bit of the shoe trees I had. I had bought a bunch of them a while back. Finally sold these last 3 for 20. Some more books from that lot. They sold for 7, not a whole lot, but $7 for 3 paperback books isn't too bad. A Game Boy here. If you see these old Game Boys, buy them. I don't care if they're broken or not. You can really pay $5 for a broken one. This one powered up, but this gray screen piece actually just falls right out, and it is disgusting on the back. Tried to clean it, but it was still disgusting. Got 28 bucks. So I think 25 for a broken one was pretty normal if it was completely not working. But if it works, you're talking 40 bucks plus. So you should be looking for these old Game Boys. These little TDK cassettes paid $2.50 each. Sold those for 18. And then this was a Wagnerware cast iron skillet. Paid $5 for this at a church rummage sale. Sold it for 33. It was going local, so I shipped it priority. Regional, I think A it went, it fit one of those boxes. The person was telling me, make sure you pack it real well and better not break on me, and he was kind of getting a little antsy and frustrated, I guess, with, I don't know, he was just kind of aggressive in his email, it seemed. I guess he really wanted to make sure it was safe, but I felt like he could have done it more politely. I shipped it out and he got it, told me it looked great, was packed well, gave me great feedback. So even if you get an email like that, it's not uncommon to get a little discouraged because it can be frustrating. Just do your best to try to accommodate them the way you feel, within reason. And a lot of times, if they get it in good condition, they'll reward you with good feedback for that. And there are people on eBay you got to keep in mind that are probably not doing the same kind of packing that you might be doing. There are probably people just throwing things in boxes with no bubble wrap or no padding or whatever, and it does come damaged. So some of that's probably real concerns of stuff they've dealt with. So some Ermenegildo Zegna jeans, I don't know how to pronounce it, paid $5, $7, $8, I don't know, sold them for 40. That was pretty good. They sold really quick, so that's a good name to know. Ping Clubs, sold these for 105. It did cost 30 to ship them. I had paid 20 to buy them, so we're already at 50. Let's do with 55 left. Still made some money there. They shipped to Tennessee, I think. So that was part of the problem. I don't like to do buyer pay shipping because I factor that into my price usually. These were selling for like 60 or 70 bucks with buyer paying shipping, so it would have been the same anyways. But it took for a while for them to show up. We shipped them FedEx. Finally got a message, months, it was January 13th or 12th, it was a month later. They got them. There was some scuffing on the driver they didn't realize was there. And that was it. They didn't say they wanted a refund. Just wanted me to know that. They gave me good feedback, and it was just kind of weird that they said that I didn't contact them aside from the feedback. Maybe I should have, but, hopefully they're not going to be coming after me later for something. Some more Hardy Boys books. I sold, I don't know if this is the first lot or the second lot I've sold now. I think it's the second one. I bought a whole box for 25 cents using that book sale. I had probably 40 books in there, 35 books, and sold that set for 30, so that was good. PS1 game, Tekken 3, just a little small sale, but I always sell video game stuff. This little ornament here I paid $1 for and sold it for 22. Another Bible from that same book sale for 25 cents. It sold for 30. Bibles were killing it the past 2 months for me at the end of the year. Made a lot of money off them, and they were selling pretty quick, so that was awesome. Some more books from that same sale for 10 bucks. Nintendo 64 system. Oh, this was a return. I got 2 returns this month. I forgot. This one was returned. It was tested. She said she couldn't get it to work. Sent it back to me, and I powered it up right away. I tested it before, and it powered right up. So I think buyer's remorse probably. I took it back. I've relisted. It'll probably sell again. Paid $3 or $4 on this Hawaiian shirt. It had guitars on it, so I thought that was pretty cool, or whatever musical instrument that is. That sold really quick for $18. Super Mario Advance, I had this lying around in my video game stuff. It was complete. Sold that for $32 in the box. Paid $3 for this wireless PS3 controller that sold for $23. And one of my favorite sales, these sell so quickly, Nerf Vulcan ammo belts, $13. I'll pay $3 for them because I know I can sell them within the day usually of listing them. Moving on. Logitech trackball mouse, $35. Definitely a good investment if you see these. Different ones sell for more money, but be on the lookout for them. And if it doesn't work, just take this little ball out here. You can usually sell that by itself for $12 to $15. Some more books from that lot, $12 there. A Game Shark, I had this lying around in my video game stuff, which I've been going through this month. Sold that for $23. Department of the Army and Air Force, these are like recipes for salads and pastries and stuff. Paid $2 at a weird garage sale, had just a mix of different kinds of stuff. Sold that for $22. It also shipped international, so they gave me good feedback too. SpongeBob, bought this at the pawn shop, paid $15, sold it for $62 the next day. Donald Trump tie. Some of you may not support Trump, that's obviously up to anyone's opinion. But his ties have been selling like crazy. I've sold 2 so far, and other people have been selling them well. This is just a pink Donald Trump tie. It's used. It's sold for $21 within a day. So if you do see one and it doesn't bother you morally, you might want to buy it, pick it up, and list it because they have been selling well. Logitech receiver. This goes to a wireless controller for the PS2. Sold that for $10.79 on sale. Harry Potter, paid $5 for this. Sold that for $22.49. Ships medium mail, so look out for the Harry Potter audio books, the CD ones. If you get a whole set, it's like probably $150 or something. But if you can get a couple of them, they're still worth picking up. This was a U2 t-shirt, band shirt. I picked this up for 50 cents at a garage sale, and it sold for $27. It was awesome. My best band shirt sale ever. I haven't really sold many, but I'm starting to pick them up, and I just sold another one today, so that was cool. Mario Kart for the Wii, sold that for $27. Kind of not the greatest picture. I should have moved the little chair out of there. That's why I want to get a new setup, so bear with me. But these were a bunch of cargo shorts I had found, my old ones, and some that I had found and picked up in just kind of free clothes lots. Put them all together and sold them for $68. So pretty good. For those, if you excuse me, I have seen people sell lots like this before. That's how I knew to sell them. If you can get a lot of, you usually want bigger sizes, 36 upward, 40, 42, 44, even better. You can find a bunch of different color cargos, but you can sell them, for about that price. I just shoved all mine in a large flat rate, or medium flat rate. I think I fit them all in. So that worked out well. Another Vulcan one, just sold the other one for $13. I think it had some discoloration. Sold this one for $14. Pokemon White, that came with a DS I bought for $15, I think, or $10, and that sold for $22. Mario Party 6, same sale. I bought the GameCube and this. Bought the GameCube for $7. It had this one game inside, which sold for $31 just for the disc, so that was awesome. New Super Mario Brothers, that sold for $18.89. This all sold right before Christmas, so I assume these were Christmas presents. A Sony cassette quarter. Person messaged me and said it better work, better have all the functions. It sold, and I never heard back, so I'm assuming they were happy. I did test it before, so it did work, but they were pretty particular in their message. 2 GameCubes sold back to back. You can see really close to each other here. One person said, make sure you leave it in my backyard or something, and I have no control over that. But they got good feedback, I think, on this one. And this one I didn't hear anything back, so that was good. I did throw 2 junky games with them. This were 2 kind of girl games, or one girl game and then another game someone wanted to play, and these were 2 kids games, so that worked out. I had a Teddy Ruxpin and a Grubby that were not working. I bought them. They haven't sold as parts items yet, so I got rid of them and donated them. But I took the battery covers off. Sold this one for $11.70. This is a little make your own candlestick thing. We had got this as a wedding gift from someone. I think they just re-gifted it to us because it was old. It wasn't used, but you could tell the box had been around. Didn't want that, so we sold it for 21 bucks to someone locally. So didn't cost too much to ship, and they were actually happy with it. Gave me good feedback. 3 werewolf books. Picked these up from a book lot for the 25 cents a book. Sold these international. They paid 18 bucks plus whatever else they paid. Paid 10 bucks for the Game Boy at the pawn shop. Sold that for 35. Another Vulcan. This is the third one in this video, so 3 in this month, 13 bucks. If you find these, just pop on them. Savers always puts them in bags for like 2 or 3 bucks, and if you have the discount, it's worth it to pick them up. Handycam, I had sold this one in November. They returned it, said it was broken. It does seem to be broken now. I don't know if that was in shipment or something they did. I sold it for 20 bucks for parts just to make back some of that return money I had lost. So even the Handycam's broken can sell, and if yours is broken and it comes with a power cord, sell the power cord separately. That'll go for like 15, and depending on which model Handycam, it'll sell for parts. I just sold another one for parts that was a higher end one, sold for $63. So this was some transparency film here, sealed, 100 sheets, sold that for $22.49. Tommy Bahama, this one was actually with a little mark here near the button. Sold to some attorney in Florida. I know because it went to a law office address, and he was happy with it, so that was great. A Little Big Planet, paid 7 bucks for these 3 games, sold them for $25.19. Seahawks shirt, it was tie-dye, sold that for 15, paid 2 or 3 bucks. Paid $1 for the Better Home and Gardens cookbook. These spiral ones do sell pretty well, depending on which one you have. That one sold for 11. Nintendo, I had a bunch of Nintendos. They did work. They powered up. They needed new connectors in there. Rather than waste the time and spend the money to do that, I just sold them for parts. If you have any lying around, they're selling for 40 bucks just the console. Even if it's yellowed or has damage, I've sold 3 so far at this price. Dooney and Burke bag, dust bag, had a bunch of these from a sale I did a while ago. This, I think, is the last one, sold for 13. That's another keychain from a keychain lot I bought with that Tamagotchi. This sold for 10. It was a Reptar from the Rugrats, so pretty cool. This sold for $17. I paid 4. It was a little Bugatti shirt. It looked actually pretty nice, and they were happy with it, so that was awesome. Nintendo 64 storage case. Sold this for 45 within a couple of days. I think it shipped for 12 bucks FedEx Smart Post, so not too bad there. Another video game, Super Mario Advanced, 17. Donkey Kong, 13. Another GameCube, no controllers because I didn't have any that were working to go with it. Just the power cord that got 45 bucks. A lot of 5 vintage Pepsi hats. Probably should have split these up, but they had a lot of damage or staining. Sold those for 17. Just happy to get rid of them. Nintendo 64 Rumble Pack, $12.59. Another GameCube, 45. GameCube monitor. I didn't know if it worked. If you know if this works, if you have the whole setup, it could be 100 bucks easy. Sold mine untested for 45. The person said it ended up working, so that was cool. Little game here, Kirby has damage on the label, as you can see. If you have a game with damage, but it is sought after, someone will buy it for a cheaper price, $10.79. Sonic CD for $16.19, another game I had. Here's the grubby battery cover. I sold the Teddy Ruxpin one. This was the other one that sold for $13.49. Paid, what did I pay for this? $15 for P90X, sold that for $38. Someone's probably New Year's resolution there. Hopefully they're continuing that. Super Smash Bros. For the Wii, 21 bucks. This was awesome. Went to the thrift store, Goodwill. This was sitting there. It was a grandma or Graham's cousin Care Bear. Paid $2 for this. Sold it for 28 that night. It was awesome. Probably could have got 30, but it's still cool. Value Tales, 63 bucks. I paid 20 bucks for 17 of these. Sold them for 62. Medium mail shipping was like 10 bucks, so that was still pretty good. And they ended up going global shipping, and the person got them and liked them, so that was great. These art culinaire books are about food, I guess. Someone bought these for 90. I had paid $1 a piece, 16 plus tax, whatever that ended up being, and I think 18 something. But they ended up buying them for 90 on sale. Left me great feedback and told me if I had more to contact them, they wanted to buy them all. So that was awesome. I had some pretty early issues, 10, 11, 13, 16, 20. A lot of people have like 30s and 40s and 50s. If you have the early ones, those ones do a little bit better. This is the DS. I paid 10 bucks for that, sold for 38.69. Had an offer of 22 and 20 on this. I wasn't accepting offers, but they kept contacting me, told me my price was way too high. I smiled a little bit when someone bought it on sale for 38.69. So I guess it wasn't that high. Last ones of the month, Red Bag of Courage, paid 3 bucks for this, sold it for 14.39. Another one of those leather books. This was from the Atari lot I bought, sold that for 22.49. Was an Atari game in there. And this is another one of those scanners, paid 5 bucks. The one that was returned, I bought this one in the same lot. That one went for 40.49, and I did get good feedback this week on it, so that was great. And then the last two, I believe, a Nintendo power cord. If you find the power cords to your Nintendo or you're selling out the system, 14 bucks is pretty good for one of the power cords. And lastly, oh, I forgot. I gotta talk about something else. Felicia Cartwright. These were some books from that same lot for 25 cents a book, and they ended up selling for 40 bucks. I ended up selling Kirby again. I forgot the person never paid. The first person didn't pay, so I had to cancel the order. And then they actually messaged me and said they couldn't afford to buy it. It was $10. So I ended up relisting and it sold a couple days later. So pretty good. Hope you guys enjoy the video. I know I ran through faster at the end there. It's getting late and I just want to go to bed, and I didn't want to make the video drag on too long. I do want to make some changes, like I said, to not only the eBay portion of it, but I want to make some changes to my videos. Hopefully do a little bit better on timing of them. If you want me to go ahead and split them up weekly, let me know, because I can try to do that as well. If you want me to have the webcam show myself, some people prefer that, let me know as well. Either private message me or comment on it so I can know what you guys are looking for. Hope you guys are doing well. As always, please like, comment, and subscribe. If you're making videos, let me know. I will subscribe to you, and I always like to learn as well. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your month. Take care.